AskReddit by Fairy of Bone. What's something you thought was common knowledge but found out most people didn't know? Ammonia plus bleach equals poison gas. Don't combine the two, and pay attention to the active ingredients on cleaning products. Glass cleaner is often ammonia based while bathroom cleaners usually contain bleach, for example. Vinegar plus bleach equals poison gas as well. Just don't mix things with bleach. You let people out before entering. This always bothered me in elevators. Now that I have a kid in a stroller, it pisses me off. I can't get out with the stroller unless you aren't there. The amount of people who huff and puff about having to move because they practically leapt inside is astounding. You can't wait 5 seconds for me to leave? The older I get, the more I'm realizing basic history is not known at all. Last week I went to a talk with Ken Burns and he said that he decided to make his WWII documentary because he found out that over 30% of graduating high school seniors thought the US fought with Germany against Russia during the war. Cows have to give birth first before they can produce milk. Just like any other mammal. This is a really good answer. Most people never make this connection. They think cow equals milk machine. In the US, even-numbered highways go east and west whereas odd-numbered highways go north and south. 3-digit interstate is a spur, loop, or short connector. An even first number usually goes around a city and an odd first number goes into the city. If you are driving and it is raining, turn your lights on. I'll never forget my driver's ed teacher saying, if your wipers are on, your headlights should also be on. This may just be a local thing, but here goes. The reflectors in the roadway at night are white when you're going the right way, and red when you're not. Specifically, it's the reflectors that divide traffic lanes, white dashed lines. To add to this, if you see a blue reflector, there's a fire hydrant at the edge of the road. You wash out blood with cold water. If water is available or the fabric is sensitive and you'll need to stop the blood from staining, spit on it. Your spit will break up the blood. It's an old seamstress trick from when people had to hand sew all the time. I've read a lot of corset manuals from way back, for instance, and this is literally the advice in all of them. Spit on it and keep going. A lot of media online. It's easy to see something being really popular online and forget that it's only popular amongst people of a certain demographic or audience. Twitter and Reddit combined are a drop in the ocean compared to Instagram. Twitter and Reddit are largely made up of extremely online people. If the traffic lights are out at an intersection, treat it as a four-way stop. Furthermore, if you get to the stop first, it is your job to go first. Not to be nice and let others go. Some eggs are fertilized and will never become a baby chicken penguin. It baffles me how many folks I've had to explain that to this month alone. Related, hens don't need a cock to lay eggs. Can't believe I had to explain this to my 80-plus-old neighbor recently. Gambling at a casino will most likely result in losing money. Or people getting free food and drink or free hotel stays. Yeah, you're getting that because they know you'll on average lose a lot more than they spend keeping you around. I watched a documentary once about whales who get the VIP treatment from Vegas hotels. They gamble so much and so regularly the hotel sends a car to the airport for them and comps a suite. The concierge looks after them, etc. One guy complained that he wasn't offered a big enough gift card for the hotel shopping center. Like they offered $1,000 gift card and he thought he deserved $2,500. The dude was gambling tens of thousands and complaining he wasn't going to be able to buy nicer gifts for his family at home. Being nice and patient will give you a bigger chance of getting a refund or a new of whatever is broken, than being angry and blaming the random worker. I still remember the one time my evening flight got cancelled. The desk agent not only rescheduled my flight with an upgrade, but she got a hotel reservation for me at the airline discount because I was apparently the only person who didn't blow up at her. I'm never nice because I'm angling for anything. I'm nice because I was raised to be polite and respectful. On top of that, I know that the people I'm dealing with aren't the problem and, they're people. That being said, sometimes being nice comes with rewards. Never expected but always appreciated. Blow light on your dash means your brights are on. The arrow next to the fuel icon shows which side the lid is on. Some people confuse the concepts of checking your oil level with changing your oil periodically. Both activities need to be done regularly. As in, why would I need to change the oil? The light hasn't come on yet. I need to buy a longer dipstick. It does not reach the oil anymore. And X200B. Seen not that long ago. Roman numerals. Not sure why I thought it was common knowledge. I work at an escape room that has Roman numerals in it for one puzzle, and for any group under the age of 23 it's like hitting a brick wall. Knocking on a door before going inside. Knocking on a door, waiting for a response saying you can come in, then going inside. It's baffling to me how many people do think to knock, then go right in the second they're done, forgetting the point of knocking. Everything takes longer than you expect it to. If you think a task should take you an hour, allot yourself 90 minutes. Saves you a lot of stress and keeps you from chronically running late like most people seem to do. On the flip side, I've procrastinated on some projects because it's going to take all day and I need to set aside a lot of time to complete it. But then when I sit down to do it, it's finished in 45 minutes. If interrogated by the police for a crime, ask for a lawyer and say nothing. You can be incredibly guilty, but without your testimony you have a chance to get off. You have rights. And you can be totally innocent and still get convicted. Even if you're not in police custody, if a cop talks to you, you are being interrogated. No exceptions. Mayonnaise does not have any dairy in it. Just because eggs are sold in the dairy section of the grocery store does not mean eggs are dairy products. They will not trigger your lactose intolerance because they have no lactose in them. Interestingly, in most UK ships eggs are sold in the baking section. Probably because we don't have to chill them. Police are allowed to lie to you, manipulate you and twist your words during interrogations. Most people assume there's some kind of rule in place, but once you waive your right to an attorney and agree to talk, they can basically do whatever they want short of a threat. Innocent or not, always lawyer up immediately. First rule of talking with the police. Don't talk with the police. That should be common knowledge. Lefty loosey, righty tighty. Clockwise lockwise. Social media is not for you, it's for advertisers. You're the product. That the hole in the ozone and the greenhouse effect are caused by entirely separate processes and do not interact with the other. And the ozone problem got better because we, listen to scientists. 95% of getting what you want is in how you ask. Don't be a dick Karen, and you will likely get whatever you need. That the alphabet song is just Twinkle Twinkle Little Star in disguise. HR is there to protect the employer, not you. Grenadine is made from pomegranate, not cherry. OMG, I went to bartending school and still never knew grenadine is made from pomegranate and not cherry. I gotta sit down. Tell the cops nothing. Tell nurses and EMTs everything. Even if it's illegal. They don't care what drugs you've done. They care about not killing you with anesthetics. They need to know if you're incoherent because you're high drunk or if you're brain damaged. They need to know if you took something and how much so they don't kill you with a weird medication interaction. And they need to know if you're gonna end up in withdrawal during your stay so they can treat you appropriately. As a chronically ill person, I 100% support lying in the ER to get doctors to believe you, but do not lie about drugs. That includes weed, nicotine, alcohol, and hallucinogens. Mine is they're going to do a drug panel if they think something's up, and none of you are as good at lying as you think you are. They will probably tell your parents, but that beats dying of something horrid, painful, and preventable. If you will be in genuine danger when your parents find out, tell your nurse, doctor, EMT that ASAP. As soon as you enter the ER, continuing your life with minimal side effects is your only priority. Everything else can be unfucked later. That Washington, D.C. is not a state and it is not a city in Maryland or Virginia. When I told a friend I was moving there, she asked me what state it was in. She was teacher, so I was flabbergasted she didn't know. A teenage cashier at a store 20 miles from DC looked at my DC ID and was shocked to learn DC had its own driver's license. Odd even addresses are on opposite sides of the street. If you want to drink beer all night long, drink a glass of water between each beer. You will be the last one standing. And also the one fullest of pee. In the US, a lot of hospital systems have financial aid based on income. I've gotten 60-100% of my bill wiped after insurance. Even while making a living wage, they still took off 60%. I just send them $10 check each month and after a year or so they wipe it. That you should wash your hands every time you use the toilet. Yes, even if you got nothing on them. God. One time I joked about guys not washing their hands and a friend, who was training to work in elderly care mind you, just looked at me all confused. "It's not like I pee over my hands," he said. The entire group we were with took turns pointing out to him that even if he has the cleanest dick on planet Earth, the guy who touched the door handle before him probably doesn't. It just wouldn't get into his brain. It's yin and yang, not yin. The arrow next to your gas pump symbol on your dashboard indicates what side of the car your tank is on. I have an inner monologue which I thought everyone had. I don't, and whenever I watched a movie in which we could hear protagonist's internal monologue, I've always thought that it was overreacted and fake, or that it must have been tiring and distracting for the character to keep forcing it to that level. Like, I can use my imagination to keep it going, but either it's gonna be distracting me from everything I'm doing, or I'm gonna forget about doing it the moment something else distracts me. Not to mention that I have to put extra effort into what's the voice talking about, like I'm imagining a script or freestyling it, without the natural flow. Took me a while to learn that there are people who do actually have a constantly talking voice in their heads. That not everything you see on the news, in movies, or on TV is true. I'm pretty sure I figured that out as a kid, but Reddit has shown me that some people don't gain common sense with age. The older I get, the more I realize that common sense should be renamed to something much more rare. If you flick the bar sticking out of your steering wheel up, it causes the lights on the right side of your vehicle to flash. And if you flick it down, the left side flashes, so people know you are going to make a turn or change lanes. It even works in pickup trucks. They should start installing those on BMWs as well. I can't believe people pay a premium for those cars, and they don't even have blinkers. How to fold in the cheese. I swear if you say fold in the cheese one more time. How to zip emerge. Just don't try to zip emerge from the right turn only lane. Washing your hands after the bathroom and amp. Before eating. You can't eat at everyone's house y'all. And don't eat unless you watch the cooking process. It's my first night working at a nursing home and this girl training me just pulled a resident's pants down, sat her on the toilet, came to the kitchen, grabbed pretzels, ate them, went back, put the pants back up on the lady, came back out, ate more pretzels, then fixed the lady a toast. WTF, never once washed her hands. Welcome to the world of hospice. Africa is a continent, not a country. If you go under a tunnel in the States, if there is a red line along the wall it means you're underground, and if it's blue you're underwater. In Boston you can tell you are you underwater by the water leaks. That the US has 50 states. I live in Europe and a huge percent of people are convinced it has 52. My only reason I can think of is that they consider the contiguous states to be 50, then add Hawaii and Alaska to come up with 52. It would be understandable if most people didn't know how many states are in the US, but for it to consistently be thought of as 52 is strange to me. It's why the mainland is called the lower 48. Not listening to loud music off your phone in a public place. Not most people didn't know, but my best friend didn't know there was fresh milk and long shelf life milk. Don't know if it's a thing in the US. Basically, fresh milk is good for 3 weeks and needs to be refrigerated at all times. Long shelf life milk is good for 6 months and does not need to be refrigerated unless opened. We went grocery shopping once and she bought 6 fresh milks, 1 liter bottles. When I asked why she said she drinks a lot of milk. A few weeks later she told me they all went bad and spoiled, even though they weren't expired. I asked a few more questions and after she revealed that she put them in the pantry like she always did, it dawned on me that she had no idea, and so I told her about how there's different kinds of milk. She was flabbergasted. That was the first time she's heard this. And apparently went 24 years of her life only drinking long shelf life. Famous people don't necessarily deserve your attention or respect. You have to empty the lint trap on your dryer after each load. Vehicles entering a freeway merging with traffic do not have the right of way, and yield signs are not merely suggestions. And yield signs are not the same as stop signs, a very specific pet peeve of mine. Using a large touchscreen. At work we have a 75 inches digital information wall, really just a big monitor. With tap to begin, I've watched people use their entire hand, knuckles, 2 fingers, 1 finger but hold it there, etc. All while holding a smartphone. I would instruct, oh it's like using your smartphone. They say no it's not, this one is bigger. Double tap makes people even more confused.